what's got me out in the road. I've been looking at the sky, gonna scatter me high. Forget a hearse that'll never die. I've got a night lies, cat's eyes. I'm using every one of them anyway. 'Cause I'm back. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, yes, I'm back. Well, yes, I'm back in black. Yes, I'm back in black. Yeah. Flag, and nobody's gonna get me on another rap. So I gotta know I'm just making my play. I'm trying to push the line, just get out of my way. 'Cause I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Well, I'm back. Oh, yes, I'm back. Well, I'm back. Yes, I'm back in black. Yes, I'm back in black. Yes, I'm back. Well, I'm back. Oh, yes, I'm back. Well, I'm back. Yes, I'm back in black. Yes, I'm back in black. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yeah.
So after 2 weeks of riding the Honda Hornet SP, giving it a good test out on all different types of roads in different conditions, etc. What's my final thoughts on the bike? Well, overall, very positive, a very enjoyable bike to ride. The highlights for me of this bike are the engine. I think it is superb. There's so much power all the way through the range. The gearbox is also really, really good. And the quick shifter, I would say, is excellent up and down. The auto blipper for down, obviously, is really, really good. Never had any issues whatsoever. So that's all a big thumbs up from me. The torque of the bike is a real pleaser and something which will put a smile on your face, because you could be riding along at 30 mile an hour. Just give that throttle a twist, not even much of a twist, and this bike will pull. It will pull no issue whatsoever. So that is a real enjoyment and makes the bike a pleasure to ride in my eyes. The build quality of the bike, it is exactly as you would expect from a Honda. Very high quality and finished to a high standard. There's some real nice detailing in places, as I've previously touched on. Things like the foot pegs and the top mount on the handlebar here are really nicely machined, and I think it just makes a difference when you're looking at the bike. In my first impressions ride, I touched on the headlight, and I said that I definitely wasn't a fan of it. I think I was quite critical of it. However, it has slightly grown on me. I'm not 100% fan of it, but what I will say now is that I'm not a fan from the side profile of the bike. However, the head-on shot I quite like now, and yeah, it's, after living with it for a couple of weeks, it's changed my mind slightly, but not 100%. Another very pleasant surprise for me was carrying a pillion. I did expect it to be rather awkward with it being kind of a more sports orientated bike. However, I was very pleasantly surprised that it was actually comfortable for myself riding, and there was no adverse effects to riding the bike, nothing that you wouldn't expect out of the ordinary anyway. In my opinion, this bike would be best suited to somebody who's looking for all the fun, the enjoyment and excitement which a sports bike brings, but in a more upright riding position, which makes it a lot more versatile and a lot easier to live with on a day-to-day basis. I'll say a big thank you to Honda UK for the loan of this bike for the last 2 weeks. It's been an enjoyment to ride from start to finish. I've certainly enjoyed getting to know this bike over the last 2 weeks, but I would be keen for any owners to drop a comment below and let me know their experiences of this bike and what they're like to live with on a day-to-day and a year-round basis. I really hope you've enjoyed my 2 videos on the Honda Hornet SP. Please like, comment and subscribe below. Remember to keep it shiny side up, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Yes, I'm